I don't know why I put this in. It's probably something like that. I don't want to take their last sip. I could. That'd be weird. Because like the universe would just like tell that person and be like, hey, look down at your water bottle wherever that is. You see me like look at it, be like, oh, there's enough for a little sip in here, and take it, and they'd be like, look at that guy. Who is he? I don't like that. All right, so what round is this?
This is melee doubles losers finals.
It's
Bob.
already losers finals.
Bob.
Bob. Dude, I don't know. That sounds
Boss.
boss.
Final boss. The finals boss.
I haven't really eaten anything today.
Yeah, me neither. Actually, I had a kiwi.
A kiwi?
Yeah.
You ate a New Zealander? That's a lot of food,
I
man.
ate a flightless bird. Southern Hemisphere.
Instead of submitting it to get a PhD in like genetics, you just made a kiwi and then ate it. Because fuck science, dude.
Tastes like chicken.
What has it done for us? Maybe I wanted to have all 7 of my children die before the age of 18. So apparently, like, for themes and like commentary stuff today, it's just children in that, not
And animals. We're getting back to that a little
animals.
bit.
Yeah.
I was about to go into Charles Darwin eating all the animals.
Did he?
Yeah, like he went around and discovered like all these cool animals on, of course,
On the
random
beagle.
islands, and he would just eat all of them.
That's
And,
cool.
I think that's kind of why he did it. That it wasn't necessarily. It was more of like a conquest. It's like I'm gonna show the world that I can eat.
That I can just eat.
That'll show them.
Yeah, you can't do shit about it. Yeah, his ship was called the Beagle. And actually, like on one of the final islands he was at, I think he got bit by a bug or something like that, and it actually made him invalid for the rest of his life. And so, like, when he was writing his magnum opus,
Right.
like he had a bunch of time because he just didn't leave his house pretty much ever for like 25 years. I forget how long it took for him to write. Oh, it's his first book.
The Bible.
Maybe, but actually, the first time he wrote it, he submitted it to like the society that checks stuff for science in Britain, and they're like, "Wow, Charles Darwin, you big old idiot, this is dumb." And so he was like, "Well, I guess the world isn't ready for my intelligence yet." But then some other guy, like, basically came to the same conclusion and was like, hey, I'm gonna submit this to Charles Darwin because he was aware of his work, and so now that they had 2 people talking about it, they actually were like, oh, we should probably listen to this. However, in those days, like, you literally had to argue. Like, Charles Darwin hired a lawyer to argue his point for him, and during the so we know about this conversation because it was actually happening through a letter to said lawyer, and like the lawyer was like talking to one of like the main like panel people, and he was like, you know, saying stuff, and the panel person was like, oh, are you saying my grandfather was a monkey? Like, wow, that you're dumb. And the lawyer responded to that with, I'd rather have a relative of mine be an ape than be related to someone who wouldn't accept new science. And you know what Charles Darwin's response to that was when he found it out and he was like writing this? He said, if I was there, I would have died. So little to be known, that thing that everyone says like, oh, you know, I would have died, like that reaction that a teenage girl does to a joke was actually founded by Charles Darwin. So that was the point of the story.
Charles Darwin literally couldn't even.
Dude, he literally couldn't. Yeah. Charles Darwin also had a lot of like influencers to his work. I think that most people think that, like, you know, he came up with this idea of evolution, and it was very like, it was just amazing and no one had thought of it before. But like, his grandfather wrote something and he got a lot of shit off of this guy named Lyle. He wrote a book about the stratification of geology, basically like evolution in geology. And in that book, Lyle was like, "Yeah, but if you apply this to animals, then you're a big old idiot." So he didn't think that it would apply to animals. However, like the idea of evolution was a thing. Also, that tech was sick.
Oh my! Rest. Oh.
I would arrest it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, Darwin is a cool guy. Shoots aliens.
He had a lot of ideas.
Some could say he was a guy with ideas. Yeah, so now that you have some philosophy of biology under your belt, all 1.5 stream viewers,
Now you know why Fox is so good.
now you know why Fox is.
Millions of years led into the development of this space animal.
Fox has been around that long? I don't know.
Well, not foxes, but its predecessors and whatnot. Fox basically is a T-Rex. I think that's how evolution works.
Really? Like, do you think how many steps in between there? Like 2, 3, 4?
4?
Probably not.
I think
more
we're getting
than 4.
there. We're getting, yeah.
Probably not more than 4. No, I think the closest relative to like the T-Rex is a certain bird, if I remember correctly. But who am I to say? Who am I? Just a guy with ideas.
I like that we're not even listed on commentary.
I know.
That's probably
Kenzie,
a good thing.
could you list us on commentary, please? She's giving the number 1, but I'm guessing it means we're number 1 commentary.
We'll just state it again. I am Kal-El Hill. My ideas and words represent PS2 Smash as a whole.
As a person. Yeah.
As a community.
Yeah.
And any potential sponsors or top players looking to come out here, I hate you.
Yeah. Now you could say, Kal-El, how are you commentating? Given that I can see you on this on that little camera right there, and I would say that's because he's a really smart guy. And yeah, you don't really need to know much. If you can't understand it, then you're dumb.
Yeah.
I wanted to rest there.
I'm actually live commentary right now as you're watching the video, just for you.
Yeah.
So, you're welcome.
Well, actually,
And yes, it is that time. I'm looking at my watch. It's the same as yours right now. Because this is live.
Yeah, is it? Well, actually, no. We just recorded him playing some sets.
Right.
And you can't really see anyone back there. This is done. Actually, there's one person. Yeah.
That's not anyone there.
There's
no one. No one behind the left corner.
I want the stream to see my shirt. I'm very festive today.
Oh my god! I
Did
didn't
you not
even read
look
it
at this?
yet.
Really?
I looked at it and it just hurt
just
my
a lot of
eyes, so I looked
patterns.
away.
I should go up
I got
and
blinded.
So I'm gonna go in front of the player's cam.
Right.
In between the next set, not during a game, obviously. I wouldn't wanna ruin stuff. But also, it's a 2-0 situation right here.
Oh.
It's down to the wire.
This is
Who has an anime tag on?
probably. Is that what that is?
I don't know.
I thought that was like Lauser, like the
that's
not
what it-
PPMD guy.
Yeah, not PPMD guy. Who is that? Like, who is Lauser? Is he like a person?
Yeah, I think he was like his old friend. Like Lauser used to play like I think like 6 years or something, and they came back for that.
That's pretty sick. They're a great team to watch. And like I think that a lot of people were like, oh, who's this? Like they didn't know him. Like, who's this Joe Baggy Donuts right here? And then he did some pretty sick stuff. He had that one like 1v1 situation against like a player who most people, I think anyone would rate better than him, and he took it. Like it's pretty cool. That was great. That was even better. So the term Joe Bag of Donuts comes from this one guy. He was a maybe a master sergeant in the Air Force, and he whenever he was like giving a lesson about like I learned a bunch of search and rescue stuff.
Right.
And whenever he had to like have some random name for a person who would do something dumb, it'd just be Joe Bag of Donuts. So it'd be like you're treating like a cold, like a hypothermia person, and you just like poured a bunch of hot water on them. It'd be Joe Bag of Donuts doing that. It was just this ethereal being who did everything wrong.
Creative.
Yeah.
You know, in middle school, like 50? I can't remember. It was. These are young kids.
Yeah.
So, little tykes. Just learned how to wave dash. But yeah, so we had a old Frankie woodshop professor, and he'd clearly given up on life like many years ago.
Not even recent.
Yeah, he was clearly knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he did not take people's shit or anything, like, or questions also. Just genuine.
You should just know.
Asks for help. So like when people would ask like, hey, what does this machine do, or what's this, and then he would not answer, and he would instead say, do you ride the yellow bus? And then be like, what does that mean? And then he would just, that's all he would say over and over again. And they'll, like, that's kind of weird. And then...
Do you ride the yellow bus?
Yeah. Yes? And he's like, yeah, I bet you do.
Most buses are yellow.
And then like at the end of the year, we're like, all right. We're gone like, what does that even mean? So he's like, yeah, so for pretty much the whole time I was here, I would just always ask every kid if he rode the short bus. Constantly. But the new administrators are really stuck up and don't let me do that. So now I just ask them if their bus is yellow. So if they're
And it's actually more applicable because most fifth graders are pretty dumb. Like, you're like, yo, arbitrary fifth graders solve this like math problem. They'd be like, I don't know, dude. Like, I just want to play on my iPad and do some app games.
right.
And so anyone who rides a bus that's yellow, probably not the smartest person.
Yeah.
And he's not ableist anymore. He's not a dirty bigot.